She maintains that she was not at the scene of the crime the night of the murder, that she was at her boyfriend's house, Raffaele Sollecito, that they watched a movie, checked some emails, had sex, and then went to bed. The next morning, she says, she went back to her house and noticed a few strange things, dried blood in the sink, for example. The villa door was open, but that her roommate's door, Meredith's door, was closed. And so she left, went back to her boyfriend's place, and it was then that after discussing it with her boyfriend, they thought to go back and check and see whether or not anything was stolen, and that's when they called the police. Now, she says she was also intimidated by police, and at one point she said that police actually hit her, and all of this caused her to give a very confused testimony, and that's why we've seen a lot of inconsistencies, according to Amanda Knox, in her testimony. Jonathan?
Well, that's her account of what happened. How strong is the evidence against her?
Well, it is fairly strong. Police say they have evidence that both Amanda Knox and her former boyfriend were at the scene of the crime. Prosecutors maintain that they were both involved in what they call a drug-fueled sex game, and that's the picture that prosecutors are trying to portray. Amanda Knox says that's not the case, and she is trying to clarify exactly what happened that night. Throughout this trial, she's been very composed, speaking at first in English and then in very fluent Italian. She seems very confident, and from our producer on the ground there says her father, Amanda Knox's father, says he is very proud of the way she has conducted herself today.
One thing that I'm struck by, this is an enormous media event. Journalists from around the world, especially around Europe, are there covering it, but they've been there for a while. This trial started in January. How much longer will it drag on?
It could drag on for quite a while. Her testimony is expected to go on until tomorrow. It will probably continue until later next week. In fact, we're not likely to see a verdict until the autumn. And in the meantime, as you mentioned, there's this media frenzy around it. In fact, there's already a book that's been released by an Italian crime journalist put out, something that Knox tried to prevent because she says it prejudices her trial. But there's just so much attention on this courtroom drama.